Team led by Mr. Kumar, a brilliant manager known for his technical expertise. On the surface, everything seems fine. He meets targets and earns awards. But behind the scenes, he constantly criticizes employees, takes credit for their work, and enforces his instructions with threats and intimidation. The team feels stressed, demoralized, and afraid to speak up. Does this sound familiar? Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning. I am honored to speak on the topic toxic leadership, a leading role in employee resignation. Toxic leadership refers to a pattern of destructive behaviors in which leaders abuse their power, manipulate subordinates, and prioritize self interest over the well being of employees and the organization. Such leaders foster fear, distrust, and emotional distress, gradually undermining both individuals and the organization, saying et al. 2019. Leaders like Mr. Kumar act as an institutional cancer. They feed on energy from competent workers and stifle creativity. Toxic leadership significantly contributes to employee resignation because it undermines motivation and job satisfaction, harms employees' mental and emotional well being, and creates a hostile work environment. Toxic leadership significantly undermines employees' motivation and job satisfaction, increasing the likelihood of resignation. Leaders who practice favoritism, intimidation, or manipulation weaken employees' sense of purpose. Wooler et al. 2022 found that toxic leadership directly reduces job satisfaction and increases intentions to leave. When workers feel underappreciated and powerless, their intrinsic motivation declines, leading to withdrawal. Research also shows that ongoing pressure from toxic leaders reduces enthusiasm and commitment. Koch et al. 2022. Eventually, these workers become lackluster, not due to laziness, but due to an environment inimical to progress. Workplaces that destroy motivation cannot retain talent, they push it away. Toxic leadership also harms employees' mental and emotional well being, making resignation a necessary act of self preservation. Research links toxic leadership to emotional exhaustion, a major component of burnout. Nunes and Palmer Moria 2024. Daily exposure to hostility plummets emotional energy. Acts of workplace incivility, belittling comments, and disrespect further weaken concentration and engagement. Guy et al. 2022. Over time, this emotional strain becomes unbearable. Consequently, many employees opt for resignation, not because they lack resilience, but because their psychological well being is of paramount importance. Some may argue that employees resign simply because they want better salaries, improved benefits, or new career opportunities. It is true that compensation and advancement can influence a person's decision to leave an organization. Hum et al. 2019. So too can elements such as relocation, family, family responsibilities, or the pursuit of education, factors that have little to do with leadership. However, these explanations overlook a critical and far more influential reality. Leadership behavior remains one of the strongest and most consistent predictors of resignation. Research shows that toxic and abusive leadership significantly increases turnover intentions, even when other factors such as pay, job position, and personal circumstances are considered. Wooler et al. 2022. Employees are not merely chasing money, they are fleeing environments that threaten their dignity, mental health, and sense of safety. In fact, supportive leadership has been shown to retain employees even when higher paying opportunities exist elsewhere because people choose psychological security over financial gain. In essence, while salary and personal circumstances play a role, it is toxic leadership that pushes employees out the door. In closing, toxic leadership is not simply a management flaw. It is a destructive force that drains motivation, corrodes mental and emotional well being, and poisons the work environment. When leaders intimidate rather than inspire and manipulate rather than empower, they erode the foundation of organizational success and push employees through the exit. While resignation may be driven by financial or personal opportunities, the evidence is unmistakable. Toxic leadership is one of the most powerful and consistent drivers of employee resignation. People may tolerate low salaries, but they will not endure an environment that attacks their dignity and well being. Therefore, if organizations want commitment, productivity, and long term stability, they must invest in leadership that supports rather than destroys. Healthy leadership is not a luxury, it is essential. I thank you, and may the good Lord bless and keep us all.